Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading on Monday, May 13, 2024. I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day and got to eat some good food, and the moms out there rested a little bit. It's very soggy wet here, and I have to cut the grass. I should have cut it yesterday. But I wanted to address a comment in greater detail, and it's an important one. And thank you, Deb, for mentioning it. That when a targeted person owns property or owns a home or whatever, they make it extremely difficult for the targeted person to leave. And they do so by contacting all the people that you want to list your home, and they blacklist you. Just the way they blacklist you for, getting employment or hiring people to work on the property. So they will blacklist you. They will go directly to the realtors, especially realtors that are local to the area, that are familiar to these people. And, these people, they will say, oh, well, she's under investigation or whatever. Or they'll threaten the individual. They'll say, well, you know what? Just don't send her anybody that calls. And this is what happened when I lived at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey, Northfield Estates. And I know for a fact, because when I listed my house for the third time or fourth time with a new realtor who was superb, that promoted the property, that tried to get me the best possible number, there were people, other realtors, nasty realtors. There are a lot of nasty realtors. Let me tell you, they are entitled, but their days are numbered, because after the National Association of Realtors filed that multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar lawsuit and won, these realtors have been duping sellers into believing that they're required to pay the buyer's fee and the seller's fee. Well, no, that's not happening anymore, folks. They had to pay out literally, I think it was over $1 billion. That is no small change. But these realtors, they're disgusting, especially here in Kentucky, but in New Jersey too. Not all of them. Some of them are really nasty, just really nasty, entitled, because they make a lot of money. So what they'll do is, while your house, it doesn't matter if your house is listed or unlisted, they continue to vandalize the property. Vandalizing the property depreciates the value of that property. Because while they're vandalizing it, there are some things that you just can't ignore that have to be repaired. So I'm going to show you what they did to a door here, and I'll show you. And so what they do is, it's like that song. Have you ever heard that song? I forget, the Ramones maybe? Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there, if I go this way, or if I stay, there'll be more trouble, or something like that. Look it up for me. Post the lyrics down below. So look what they did to my door. This is not naturally occurring. They used a heat gun, and they took off all the old paint, and you could see there's scratches here. Look at this. The little 3 Mason scratches. This is what they did to the door. And this is a beautiful door. They actually cracked the beautiful little glass that was in the middle here, and I had to cover it up. And this is all after I moved here. After I moved here. The former owner built all of these buildings. I had to have 1 or 2 of them taken down. 3 of them I had taken down. And the people that I hired to take them down, they were sweating. They said, this guy built these buildings like nobody else. He built them to last forever. And this is what the criminals do. They use their little heat guns and energy weapons on the knots and whatever. But yeah, so this is what the door looks like now. It's an eyesore. It was a beautiful, beautiful door. And they used the heat gun. This is not the only door on the property that they used the heat gun. And also, you know it's the Freemasons, because after I put these shingles on the stairs here, they sliced it here. They have their little triangle here, the little Freemason triangle they cut out here. I'm the only one that lives here and my chickens. How does this happen? Huh? How does this happen? It's because people are coming onto my property every weekend. And during the week also. But on the weekends it seems to be a free-for-all. So I want to address this issue. You really need to hire an ethical realtor. One who is earning enough money that's not going to be swayed, that doesn't have any relationships with local people. Last year, I hired a realtor that I liked from Century 21, C21, ABC, that's the number 3, 21 is 3, so that's 3. Don't hire Century 21, guys, if you're a targeted person. It's a Freemason, it's Freemason company, 3. C21. Well, anyway, I liked her. I spent a lot of time with her. You have any idea how long it takes to show a property this size to a realtor? It literally takes at least an hour, sometimes more. And then you're talking afterwards, you're going back and forth afterwards. So I spent all that time. I trust her to list the property, or at least list the 3.1 acres of the one across the street. Immediately, people started calling her, harassing her to not sell the property. Friends of my neighbors, harassing them. And I get the broker of record on the phone, and she's giving me a song and a dance about, oh, how maybe we shouldn't take the listings. I said, listen, I spent a lot of time with you guys. Just sell the property. Well, other properties around here sold. In fact, a 1 acre the same year sold for $25,000. 25 for 1 acre with nothing on it. It was flat, no electricity, no water, no septic, zero. Just raw, flat land for $25,000. I listed my property, the 3.1, for $62,000. It didn't sell. The one across the street for $28,000, almost 2 acres. With water the water line right at the county road to hook right into it. The same thing with electric. High-speed internet access. The other property didn't have any of those things. You would have to pay to have all that done. Okay, so she did not sell the property. And after I contacted her a few times, she said, oh, well, yeah, do you think you could lower the price? I said, well, who asked about the property? She didn't bring me one person in 3 months. She wanted me to sign a 6-month. I will never sign a 6-month. If you can't bring me potential buyers in 3 months, why would I hire you for 6? Why would I waste my time? So you need to vet your realtors and your brokers, and also you can report them to the board of realtors. You can. Doesn't matter if you're targeted or not. And I did that in New Jersey. I reported 2 realtors to the New Jersey Board of Realtors. I provided them with evidence, etc., etc. In fact, my house should have sold the second time I listed it. I found out that the buyer was going to make an offer on my house. Instead, they moved my buyer, who'd been to my house twice. The woman loved the house, to another house on the other side of Manalapan that was nothing like my house. Nothing like it at all. They ended up buying that one. So what they did was, potential buyers, they moved away. People who were interested in my house, they lied to and said that I had a contract on it. They completely lied about my house in New Jersey. They'll do the same thing here. So far, I have spoken to a couple of realtors here. One is a top realtor in the area. She shows up, let me tell you, this is a grown woman. She shows up in a little flowery dress with little puffy sleeves, like she looks like she's going to a 7-year-old's birthday party with her little sandals and stuff. She looked absolutely ridiculous. At first I look at her, oh, how nice and cute. But she looks like a friggin' little girl. She's dressed like a little girl. She spends more than an hour here. And then she has the audacity to send me comps, you know, potential houses in the area that are on the market or that sold. And there's not even one that remotely resembles my property. Some of them had 20 acres less. Some of them were just a house and land. Some of them didn't have a garage, let alone 4 garages. None of them had chicken coops. Only one of them had a well. So she's comparing apples to oranges, and this is what other realtors have said. Listen, unfortunately, there are no comps out there. There's no way to determine the value of your property because there's nothing that compares to it. But I've done research across the country and have found other areas that have similar types of properties. And while it's out of the local jurisdiction, it's still something to compare it to. So this little girl realtor who is quite well known around here, she looked like a little girl, all dressed up like she's going to a little birthday party. Has the audacity to say, well, I'm not going to put out $2,000 to market your property and not get my money back. And I'm thinking, excuse me? First of all, any realtor that puts money out of pocket for marketing, advertising, they write that stuff off. In addition, when they sell the house, don't they receive a commission? Whether or not they work for their own realtor, own broker, or whatever, even if they're getting 3%, you mean to tell me she's not going to recoup her $2,000? And why would it cost $2,000 if they claim to be the top marketing people and they already have their marketing set up? So that means that they already have agreements or subscriptions, annual subscriptions to these websites and whatever where they market. So how is it going to be $2,000 out of pocket? Oh, guess who that is? The little rat snitch blondie jailbird. She's probably running to the county lawyer to give him some dirt on me. So it's very difficult to sell property. Now I know from renters have difficulty too. I have a targeted friend in California now. She'd been living in her car literally for years now. She finally decides, you know what? I've got some money. I want to rent. I want to live in a place. So she's living there a month. She rents a house. She's living there a month. And the landlord has the audacity to move somebody into the attic, claiming that the attic was not part of the house that she was renting. Yeah, is that amazing? I mean, who does that? I mean, if you're renting a house, an attic or a basement is part of the house. I mean, where does he come off renting it? He rented it to a perp who's playing loud music and harassing her 24/7. So this is what they do. It's very difficult. And living in a remote area like this, you're not going to get the kinds of traffic that I would in New Jersey, where there's a lot more traffic. However, there's a lot of seismic activity going on in California. A lot of Californians are moving to these areas. And Kentucky is actually very beautiful. If you're not a targeted person, you know, some parts of Kentucky are gorgeous. I remember flying into Lexington and thinking, wow, this is like absolutely beautiful. Like the aerial view was not like flying into Newark Airport. Nothing like flying into Newark Airport. I know, I apologize for the birds. The birds are having a ruckus this morning because this is the time of the day where the hens are laying eggs. And they all gather around and they help each other lay eggs. It's sort of like going into labor. And they have all these little midwives cackling in the background. And then I've got this crazy guinea over here, this young one. The young ones just cackle all the time. They're young. They don't know what they're doing yet. So yes, it is very difficult. And they do bribe these people. So anyway, this little girlie, like dressed up like she's going to a 6-year-old birthday party, hands me her brochure and everything, and has the audacity after saying, oh, well, I don't think I'm going to get my $2,000 back. So I called her out on, she says, oh, well, that's not what I meant. It's like, read what you just wrote to me. Like she's giving me a song today. She says, well, I don't think I could get more than X for your property. Really? If you're such a top-notch realtor, why would you even say that to any seller? Don't you want to get the best possible price? And you always list higher because then you have to negotiate. Here she comes again. Look at her. That's the Mary, quite contrary. Let's see how many times she'll drive back and forth now. So that's 2. So any realtor, even if a seller is maybe a little overly optimistic and listing maybe above the market value, we're talking about land. And there are people looking for land. I remember before my mother unfortunately passed away, she hated my living here. She hated it. She had a bad feeling about it. And this is like 3 years ago. She wanted me to get out of here. She says, why don't you contact Bill Gates? He's buying... My mother cracks me up. She says, why don't you contact Bill Gates? He's buying up all the farmland. I'm sorry. I don't know if I could deal with somebody like him anyway. But it was cute. But yeah, there are people that want property like this. There are people that want to get out of the cities and buy a homestead that's already set up for somebody to move right in. That they won't have to install the septic. They won't have to install the gutters. They won't have to buy chicken coops, right? I already did all of those things, right? So they won't have to install the gravel driveway the way I did when I moved here. 450 feet long or 350 feet, whatever it was, that they have planted grass seed in, these criminals. There are a lot of things. Somebody could move right in here who's never owned a farm, never owned a homestead, move right in. They could even add on to my house to make it bigger, live there and add on to the house. They could build another one at the top of the hill. There are so many options for this property. And it could be a very lucrative income producing property. I'm just going to put it that way. If I were a targeted person, I could be earning a lot of money off this property between rentals and growing food and stuff and all of that. So I'm putting it out there if anybody knows. And I know that other people, other targeted people that are farmers and homesteaders, I know that there are preppers out there that watch my channel. I know you do. I know you do because you send me emails based upon things that I've shared on my channel. So I'm putting it out there. I want to sell this property, get out of here. It's easily divisible. I already have 3 deeds. It's already been legally surveyed. A legal survey alone, nobody around here has a survey. It's expensive, it's time consuming. I put that out there to the realtor when she's giving me a little song and a dance about, well, I don't think I could sell it for more than this. Well, then you're not a very good realtor. if you're already saying, I don't think I could sell it for more than this, when it's worth $200,000 more than what she's saying she couldn't sell it for more than this. So anyway, I'm putting it out there. Unrestricted land, legally surveyed. Probably the only property around here. Probably the only property in the whole city, which makes it very valuable if you're getting a loan from a bank. Banks want to know. They want to know if you've got a survey. And sometimes they'll make you get a survey. Do you have any idea what it's like to obtain a survey in the middle of looking for a home? It took me months. It took me, I guess it was like a month, more than a month out between scheduling. Yeah, it was about a month, maybe a month and a half out before I could get somebody here. And then it took them weeks. It took them almost a month to survey the whole property. You get the plat, and then you have to register it with the city, the town and stuff. It's extremely time consuming. And the really good surveyors are booked this time of the year. So that is a valuable thing about this property, that it's already been surveyed. Of course, anybody who's buying the property, you might want to get your own. You might want to get your own, I'm not saying that my surveyor is like the top notch or whatever, but I have one that I did not have before. So I'm putting it out there to spread the word for the people that are listening to this. I want to get out of Kentucky. I don't like living here. As a single woman, this area is not conducive to me, targeted or not. I think a family, a multi-generational family, would absolutely love this property. I haven't even shown you half of it. It's gorgeous. It really is. I will miss it. It's gorgeous. But it's a lot of work for me. And I'm going to have to market my own property myself. And somebody left a very unique comment and said, you're going to have to find somebody that has more money than your local people have to bribe others. You're going to have to find somebody, an investor, or somebody that's got enough money that's not going to listen to these idiots around here. So anyway, on that note, I just wanted to address the issue of buying and selling land, property and stuff, and how difficult it is for a targeted person. I mean, it's hard enough as a regular person. It's hard enough dealing with these realtors. They lie. A lot of them don't want to do the work. And I don't care if somebody has a great reputation. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that disagree with some of the feedback people are giving on some of these realtors, but they're not going to post the negative feedback online. They'll quickly remove that. So anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on Monday. This is Chirp. Chirp. What's the matter? Chirp. That's Chirp. He's always got something to say about everything. Chirp. I don't know if you remember, but last year he was a baby chick. He was a baby chick last year. I wasn't looking for a rooster, but when I got my chicks from the hatchery, Murray McMurray, he was supposed to be a hen, and he turned into a rooster, which is happening to me like every year. I order hens and I get roosters. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for now on this Monday. Please leave your comments down below. Tell me the trials and tribulations you have had with either buying and selling property, buying and renting homes, renting apartments, and if these criminals have prevented you from moving, how they did it. We need to share this information to warn others, and I look forward to discussing this issue further with you. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, signing off for now on May 13, 2024.